Hello again, Dan Alasso with History for Today. And I'm in a hotel room in St. Paul this morning. This afternoon I will be going to the archival library at the Minnesota Historical Society and doing 4 hours of research. 10 boxes queued up for me to look at, so I'm very excited about that. This morning from the hotel room, I'll be running a class discussion via Zoom at 9 o'clock, and then my TA, Kate, is going to run one for me in person at 11 o'clock in a classroom back in Bemidji for the class that isn't HyFlex. This is another good reason to have dual listed or HyFlex courses, I guess, in case you don't have a TA who you can trust to just step in and run a class for you occasionally. I made a quick video yesterday before school about the hypothesis to Readwise to Obsidian integration. And then when I got to class at 9:30, I was very excited about it still, and I told my students in that historiography class about this. And their reaction surprised me a little bit. Several of them said, "We miss hypothesis." I wasn't using it with them this semester because I wanted to focus on the obsidian graph. And I was a little bit worried that there might be a limit to the number of new apps that I could throw at my students at any given time. But by popular demand, I'm going to start using a hypothesis class group with these students beginning next week on the very next set of readings. Now, because I had just described to them how excited I was about this hypothesis to obsidian annotation import, my student Kate, who is in this class in addition to being my TA and who has already been using Obsidian in her research, and we've made a video together about it. Kate asked the obvious question: could the students use this feature to automate their own note-taking? And would Readwise even be able to find and extract and transfer PDF annotations from a group folder? Those were good questions that I hadn't really thought about. My immediate response was, well, Readwise isn't a free app, and I actually have a policy against requiring students to use tools that add to their expenses. I don't even use commercial textbooks, and I write OERs, so this isn't just about app cost. However, if you're listening, Readwise, maybe consider a free plan for students or a very cheap plan. You'd build an additional incremental user base that would be very easy to convert once they graduated. On the second question, I wasn't at all sure either, but I did some poking around, and as it turns out, Readwise has already imported PDFs that I've used in prior classes that had only existed in these private folders that I've made. And when it did that, it didn't pull in everybody's annotations, only mine. That's a little bit inconvenient if what I'm wanting to do is pull all the comments that people make into a shared vault and then continue the quote-unquote discussion in there. But on the other hand, if I'm copying my own thoughts into my own vault, I really don't want everybody else's comments coming along. So if I had to choose, rather than having a switch that I could turn on and off, I guess that I would choose what the developers had delivered. And on that note, I've just got to say once again that the way these tools work together suggests that someone on the design team at Readwise was really thinking. So I continue to be very impressed, and I think that this integration is even more useful than I had said it was yesterday. And I'm looking forward to using Hypothesis again with my students by popular demand and having a record of at least my part of the discussion that we have about these course readings in this course, because I think that will be useful to me on an ongoing basis. So I just wanted to make a quick note of that in case anybody else was wondering about those same questions. And as I'm playing around with this and I run into additional elements, I'll be sure to report on them. But that's all I have for right now. So thanks very much for listening. I'll probably make a video of my research trip today that I'll post this weekend. So I will see you again very soon.